It's of course a very, very difficult task to bring this very far music alive today. And very often one feels a little bit like walking in a museum. For a violinist nowadays, for a musician nowadays, generally speaking, I think it's absolutely vital, and for my own personality and mentality, it's necessary to go and explore all different kinds of epochs in music. So I do, of course, play older music, and I do try to adjust as much as I can and as much as I get to know about the details about the tradition, the habits, the instruments used at that time, to get as close as maybe we can to the spirit of the composer so long ago. But I also think it's very important, at least for myself, to bring alive nowadays music, to feel what it might have been maybe back then, to work closely with a composer, to actually be able to ask the composer, what do you mean when you write this? And anyway, the musical writing can only be a symbolic one. So we need more help, and nowadays that's the luxury of contemporary music making. You normally can actually address the composer and have some direct first-hand help, which is of course difficult with the old composers, and the further we go back, the more it is difficult, of course. If we talk about Schumann or Brahms, we are actually already helped quite a lot. We have a lot of sources we can read and look into. We have at that time, of course, it was very common to write letters, a lot of letters, maybe every day. That was the normal way of communication to people which were not in the same town around. So we do have that help. That's actually a pity nowadays with the emailing. That will not be for further generations a great help. But actually in that time we do have a lot of written evidence, and we can have a lot of help, and we can also try to figure out what the composer probably was as a person, what kind of character, what kind of problems he had. And of course it becomes more and more difficult when we go back to Bach. We don't have all those direct sources. We have to look around contemporary treatments, and we have to figure out with less concrete help. So it is of course a difficult task, but then still the music of those days is still moving us a lot, and I think that's the biggest proof that we still have some connection, and we just try to find out as much as we can to get closer to the composer's intentions. There are lots of wonderful, wonderful instruments. I am very, very lucky to play on a beautiful Stradivarius violin, which I'm playing on since '96, if I remember well. So we have a very, very close relationship, and it can be really called like that, as a violin of that quality has a very, very strong personality and has to be treated carefully and known very well, and we do know each other now after such a long time very, very well, which has a lot of advantages, and sometimes also maybe one is also having moments of longing for other colors, other possibilities, but this one is a gorgeous instrument, and there are other Stradivarius instruments which are of course beautiful, and it would be maybe nice to have 5 of them so you can choose along the repertoire, but that's difficult, so I'm already really spoiled with this one.